I'm Jenna Middaugh. Coming up on 11 News at noon, a crosswalk in downtown Colorado Springs is getting a makeover. Why the city agreed to turn a crosswalk into a rainbow and what they are hoping to do in the future. Plus, a drive-by shooting happened overnight, what we know and what police are saying about the suspects. Coming up on 11 News at noon. And let's take a live look outside. It's looking like another hot day. Meteorologist Jordan Sherman will tell us what's in store for the weekend. Join us at noon.
This is KKTV 11 News at noon.
A drive-by shooting happened overnight. What a family is telling us after a gunshot hit their car. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Jenna Middaugh in for Katie Pelton today. Well, police are investigating a drive-by shooting that happened overnight. It happened just around 4 this morning in a neighborhood near Woodman and Austin Bluffs. We spoke with the homeowners around 6. They tell us they caught someone breaking into one of their cars that was parked on the road. They say someone from inside the house went outside and told the suspects to leave. About 5 minutes later, they say the suspects came back and allegedly shot at a car in the driveway. Police did not have any details about the suspects or what kind of car they were driving. Well, we have new information now. Colorado Springs police have identified the man who was shot at an apartment complex yesterday morning. Police say officers found 27-year-old Alex Franklin with a gunshot wound in the parking lot of the Ridgeview Place Apartments, which is off North Carefree Circle and North Academy Boulevard. Police say Franklin was taken to the hospital where he died. Officers are still searching for his shooter.
It's unknown if there's a threat to the public. Obviously, we do not have the suspect in this incident in custody.
Now, anyone with information is asked to call Colorado Springs Police at 444-7000. Well, right now, the man who robbed a local convenience store is still on the run. Colorado Springs Police say it happened in the 5300 block of Airport Road around 1 this morning. Officers say a man with his face covered walked into the store, showed a handgun, and demanded cash from the clerk. Police say he took off with an unknown amount of money, and police haven't been able to track him down. Well, happening tomorrow, you can help make sure students in southern Colorado are prepared for the upcoming school year. 11 News is teaming up with the United Way for our 11 Cares Back to School drive. You can meet our team to help kick off the supply drive at the King Soopers near Constitution and Mark Shuffle on the east side of Colorado Springs. We'll be there from 10 until 2 tomorrow. We are collecting school supplies from now through August 2nd. For more information, you can head to our website 11cares.com. Well, new today, a man accused of burglarizing a business back in May is now facing charges. According to police, 38-year-old Kevin Harden was arrested yesterday. During the burglary, police say he stole several identity documents from an office complex in the 7600 block of Goddard Street. Officers say at least one person reported being the victim of identity theft. Harden is now facing burglary and identity theft charges. Well, this is a developing story. The man accused of causing a fiery crash on I-70 that killed 4 people is getting ready to go to trial. A judge decided there is enough evidence. It happened back in April near Denver. In court, prosecutors said Rogel Aguilera Medeiros had numerous opportunities to get off the highway before the crash happened. The defense says his brakes just failed. Now here he is walking into court yesterday afternoon. His attorney also said a truck parked on the shoulder of the interstate is to blame. A judge also decided that he can go back to Texas where he lives while he waits for trial. Well, free physical exams are being offered for students in Pueblo. They will be available for all Pueblo City schools, Pueblo School District 70, and private school students in grades 6 through 12 in Pueblo County. Appointments are available today from 1 until 7 p.m. at Southern Colorado Family Medicine at the address that you see there on your screen. For more information or to schedule an appointment, you can call 557-5855. Well, new today, a crosswalk in downtown Colorado Springs has been colored into a rainbow. Crews were out working on it bright and early this morning at the intersection of Colorado and Tejon. The installation coincides with the city's Pride Fest celebration, which is happening this weekend. Downtown Colorado Springs says this crosswalk is a beta test and they hope to have other creative crosswalks pop up around town. It's a temporary adhesive and it is just being tested, so the colors will be removed on Monday. The Downtown Partnership says it's working with the city's traffic engineering department to look into the possibility of permanent creative crosswalks. Well, it's time now for your no-wait weather with meteorologist Jordan Sherman. Jordan, it is another warm day out there.
Yeah, pretty toasty.
Thanks, Jordan. Well, happening today, Vice President Mike Pence is headed to the Texas-Mexico border. He's set to tour a detention facility this afternoon where families apprehended at the border are being held. The Trump administration continues its focus on immigration policies with raids planned for this weekend to round up undocumented immigrants already in the country.
We're going to secure our border.
The House Oversight Committee released a new report that shows children are being held in government custody for an average of 90 days. And they say more than 21 children have spent a year in detention facilities separated from their families. The planned raids this weekend are expected to be carried out in 10 cities across the country. Well, this is new today. Labor Secretary Alex Acosta is resigning following criticism over his handling of a controversial sex trafficking plea deal more than a decade ago. He came under fire this week after wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein was indicted on new sex trafficking charges. The arrest focused new attention on a plea deal Acosta brokered for Epstein in 2008 when he was a U.S. attorney in Miami. Epstein spent just 13 months in jail after being charged with molesting teenage girls. The president has repeatedly praised Acosta and the work he did at the Labor Department.
He's a tremendous talent.
Now Acosta will stay on the job for another week. He said with the economy doing so well, the focus must be on that and not him. Well, we have something we need to tell you this afternoon, and this is a tough one. We lost our dear friend Dustin last night. Dustin Cusick has been part of the 11 News family for almost 10 years. He was a news photographer and then a reporter, and more recently an investigative producer and researcher. We told you this spring that Dustin had some serious medical problems and that he needed a kidney transplant. Last night, he lost his long and brave battle. You know him from his work on TV. At 11 News, we here all were lucky enough to know him as a friend. Dustin was kind and intelligent and wickedly funny. He always made us laugh, and our newsroom was always better when he was in it. Dustin was talented and creative, and in the last year or so especially, he was profoundly courageous. We will share more with you about our colleague and our friend in the days ahead. Today, though, his family and his work family, we're all stunned and we're sad, and we aren't able to say much for now. We deeply appreciate your thoughts and your prayers for Dustin's family. One of the best ways to honor him is to encourage your loved ones to be an organ donor. Dustin was outspoken about the cause and fought a long, brave battle. At 36 years old, he should have had more time. Welcome back. The U.S. Geological Survey reports that just before 4 this morning, a 4.6 magnitude earthquake rattled parts of Washington state. That was followed minutes later by a 3.5 magnitude aftershock near the city of Monroe, about 30 miles northeast of Seattle. There were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. The quake hit as millions of people in Southern California are on edge and worried about their safety after 2 large earthquakes and more than 4,000 aftershocks. The powerful, damaging quakes rocked the small desert town of Ridgecrest, which is 110 miles north of Los Angeles. Well, a tropical storm is moving toward the Louisiana coastline, and nearly 10,000 people have already been ordered to evacuate. President Trump has declared a federal emergency for the state as crews prepare for storm surge that could cause major flooding across New Orleans and surrounding areas. Hillary Lane brings us the latest from New Orleans.
These fishermen knew it was time to hunker down.
The ground in New Orleans is already waterlogged after an 8-inch downpour earlier this week, and the Mississippi River is already running high because of heavy spring rains. Jordan.
All right, thanks so much, Jenna. We've been talking about Barry quite a bit with our 11 Breaking Weather app, but just expect that spotty storm opportunity if you plan on hiking up in there in Teller County, trying to maybe beat the heat from lower elevations. Be aware and be ready to take some shelter just in case.
Yeah, and for those hot temperatures, make sure we have water. You mentioned it, but always important.
Yeah, for sure. Even when it's not hot out, it's good to have it, but especially when we're kind of getting into the July heat, you're going to want it with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jordan.
All right.
We'll have an update to a story we told you about yesterday. Police in Greece say they are doing DNA tests on several people in connection with the murder of an American scientist, Suzanne Eaton. The California native was found dead in a World War II bunker on the Greek island of Crete. Greek officials told CBS News the American biologist was suffocated to death. They say she was killed somewhere else and then her body was left inside the bunker. Police are not saying if they have any official suspects. Well, singer R. Kelly is facing new charges today. Coming up on 11 News at noon, why he was arrested for a second time this year and what's next for the singer. Welcome back. New research shows even if you're not overweight, cutting just a few hundred calories from your diet can have big benefits for the heart. Kenneth Craig has more.
We know a good diet and weight are critical for heart health.
Well, researchers say another way to try to cut calories is to avoid snacking after dinner. Well, this is developing now. Singer R. Kelly is back in custody for the second time this year, this time facing federal sex crime charges. NYPD detectives and Homeland Security agents arrested Kelly last night in Chicago. He was indicted on 13 counts by 2 federal courts. Charges related to child pornography, enticement of a minor, and obstruction of justice have been added on top of the state charges he's already facing. Kelly insists he has done nothing wrong and denied that he abused women. The singer has denied allegations of sexual misconduct for decades. We have an update now. The House is set to vote today on extending funding for the 9/11 Victim Compensation Fund. The bill received nationwide attention after impassioned pleas from surviving first responders and comedian Jon Stewart. The current law, which was last reviewed in 2015, expires next year, and the fund's administrator says it doesn't have enough money to pay out claims. This bill would extend the fund through 2090. The bill is expected to easily clear the House. It will then be sent on to the Senate. We'll be right back. Well, most Americans want less nicotine in cigarettes. That's according to a new report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. According to the study, 80% of U.S. adults favored reduced nicotine levels. A previous study found it's a change that could potentially save 8 million lives over the next century and prevent 30 million more from smoking. A director for the CDC says lowering nicotine levels could help smokers quit and make it less likely for future generations to become addicted. And Google is listening. The company revealed yesterday that contractors review a percentage of recordings made by customers through Google Assistant devices like Google Home and Android-based phones. That's after more than 1,000 recordings were obtained by a Belgian broadcaster. Google says just a fraction are reviewed by humans to improve language software, and customers may occasionally be recorded even when they're not using a virtual assistant. Maybe a good day to ditch those electronics, get outside, but it's kind of hot.
Yeah, no kidding. If you are going to head outside, maybe grab a book, read it by the poolside, because it's going to be a toasty one this afternoon, and I think you're going to have that not only today, but well on into the weekend. The temperature is kind of hovering right around that 90-degree mark, if not just above, for the next 7 days in Colorado Springs. Got to be ready for the heat that time of the year. Jenna, kind of pre-monsoon hot weather here in southern Colorado.
Yeah, make sure you enjoy it, but with a nice glass of cold water.
Yeah, stay hydrated, friends.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, KKTV 11 News is your breaking news and weather leader. We're always online at kktv.com and on Facebook. We'll see you back here for 11 News at 4.